Okay, Rabbeinu Yona and Pirkei Avos in Perek Daled Mishnah Yud Tes says the Heilige Mishnah. Shmuel HaKatan Omer. Shmuel HaKatan says, Binfol oivecha al tismach. If your enemy falls, you should not be happy. Uvikoshloi al yageli becha. When he trips, when he stumbles, your heart should not be gladdened. And yira Hashem v'Rabbeinu v'heishiv me'olav apoy. Lest Hashem see that, and Hashem won't be happy. Hashem will not be happy with that. And Rabbeinu will be bad in Hashem's eyes. V'heishim olav apoy, and Hashem will take off His anger from this person. So this is a very unique Mishnah, in that Shmuel HaKatan, all he's said is a mefurish pasuk in Mishlei. Apparently, in the Geras Rabbeinu Yona has in the beginning, he's not adding anything, just quoting a pasuk. Don't be happy when your enemy falls. When he stumbles, don't be glad. Have a glad heart. Lest Hashem see him, be bad in his eyes. It'll take away his anger from this person. So what's Shmuel HaKatan coming to add? What's he coming to add to the pasuk? It's a mefurish pasuk. Zok the Rabbeinu Yona ma'bolash me'enu Shmuel HaKatan mazeh das Schreck the Rabbeinu Yona haloi pasuk shalamu u'shloi me'alav shalom amroi. It's a pasuk in Mishlei, and the Rotulaimer he's coming to say. Shmuel HaKatan would often say this pasuk. He was rogil, it was regilus. He would often quote this pasuk. Zok Shmuel HaKatan, his chiddush is that the lesson of this pasuk is needed every single day. And people they stumble with this pasuk. They don't fulfill this pasuk every single day. Even if your enemy is a big Rasha, we should not be happy when something bad happens to him. The only reason we should be happy is because his downfall is marbe kavod shemayim, but not because he's been a thorn in my side and there's a personal gain to me, the fact that he had his downfall. That's not a reason to be happy. The only reason to be happy is that now Kadosh Baruch Hu's covered is greater. When the Rosh is no longer here. We mean to say, says the Rabbeinu Yona, even a tzaddik should not be happy with the fall of the Rishoyim. Let me play Sinoso, he says, only happy because it's Kvod Shemayim, not because he hated him, but and all the more so, a person whose actions are as bad as this person. So, loy mivoy at tzaddik, actually. Not only a tzaddik shouldn't be happy that the Rasha fell, who was his enemy, because he's the enemy. Rather, the tzaddik should only be happy because the Kadosh Baruch Hu's kvoid now, his covet has been is greater. But all the more so, a person who has the same shlechta maisim, he has the same maisim mikol kalim kamoisoi, im yaga libo bihi koshloi ra'asei rabba. If he's going to be happy that his enemy, the Rasha, fell, something very bad is going to happen to the person. Why are you so happy? You're exactly like him. When your enemy falls, don't be so happy. So Shmuel HaKatan's chiddush always say this, because often we see there are people who do the wrong thing, right? And usually when we see someone doing the wrong thing, that's something that we excel in, right? I don't see things that I'm not so good with. If I'm not so great with Asher Yotzer, with Kavana, I'm not going to have a tainach. This guy calls himself from Yid, but there's Asher Yotzer, right? The things that I excel in, human nature is, then you see the negative in everyone else. It was a bacher, I think it was Rabbi Saul Salanter, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of the Baalei Mussar. It was a bacher in Yeshiva who decided he's going to take on a chumrah. This is brought down somewhere in Michtav Melio. It's brought down Michtav Melio on, if you look in the index in the back, when it comes to chumras. When it comes to chumras, he talks about chumras. So he says there that the Bacher took on to Makabel Shabbos and Chatzois midday on Friday. This Bacher had a Chumrah, he doesn't want to run around last minute. He's going to make a Gzeira for himself, a Chumrah at probably Halachic Chatzois, about 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 11:30, depending on the time of the year. He's being Makabel Shabbos early. Not being Makabel Shabbos, he's ready for Shabbos, he's in his Shabbos clothing, with a Chumash, doing Shnai Mikra, Chazing the Gemara he learned. So Rabbi Yisrael Salanter passes by him, or it was Alter from Kelm, one of the Baalei Mussar, and they see him all ready for Shabbos. And it's 3 hours before Shabbos. And there's Yidden running to the mikveh and running here. So he said to the Bacher, what do you gain by your chumrah if you view us all as being Mechalei Shabbos? In other words, okay, you have a chumrah and you see us as the Rishayim running around, but if you're going to view us as Mechalei Shabbos, what is your chumrah gain? You're trying to be Machmir and Shabbos, ends up being cool somewhere else. So often a person can excel in one area of Yiddishkeit, and therefore he sees others as being Rishayim in that area, when essentially he's the same in some other area. So one has to be very careful before they quickly paskin, they're quickly happy that the downfall of the Russia, one has to have a bit of humility, realizing that, you know what, just because he's a Russia in area A and I'm not, and he has a downfall, I'm happy. But you know what? Maybe I'm not such a tzaddik in area B, I'm the same as him. So do I want to Kodesh Baruch to look into my Torah mitzvahs just like he looked into his? I'm not so sure. So there's certain humility one has to have even when a Russia falls. As they state in Rabbeinu Yona. So according to this Girsa, what Shmuel HaKatan is adding is that this happens all the time. The content is a pasuk. Shloimeh HaMelech, Allah B'Shalom already said it. But what Shmuel HaKatan is saying is that it's something that we nichshel every single day. We see a person, something bad happens to him. Oh, that's because he does this, that, and the other thing. Hold on a second. I do other things that are bad. I shouldn't really be happy. V'yesh Garsim, always have the Girsa, if I'm not mistaken, Rashi and Rambam had this Girsa. Pen yireh Hashem v'Rabbeinu, v'heishim olav apoy. So says the Mishnah, says Shmuel HaKatan, Choroin apoy le'nemar el apoy. It doesn't say Hashem will take his choroin af off of the wicked person. El apoy, his anger. That if a person is happy, if Reuben is happy, when Shimon the Rasha has his downfall, then Hashem will be moichel all the avoinus of Shimon. Now Zak Ben Yona Shmuel is telling us, Shmuel HaKatan, a tremendous chiddush. When Hashem sees that this Reuven is happy with his enemy falling, Hashem will forgive the enemy, and he'll establish the Averas. I'm not sure if he means to say, it's unclear. Does Rabbeinu Yona mean to say v'yakim oisoi? V'yakim oisoi means he'll pick up the enemy, so it won't happen. If I see my enemy who's a Rasha falling and I'm happy, so Hashem will be making the enemy. Or v'yakim oisoi will establish the Averas on the person who's happy. Who oinish the samech. So it sounds like Hashem will stop the punishment on the Rasha, and that will be a punishment for the Sameach. So if the person is Sameach when the Rasha falls, so it's going to come back to haunt him. That's going to cause Mechilas Avoinus on the Rasha. That's the second Malach in Rabbeinu Yona. The idea, again, the idea, and it's actually interesting, I'm realizing now, he's called Shmuel HaKatan, but he definitely is not a Shmuel HaKatan. Shmuel HaKatan, if not mistaken, stating Gemara Megillah and Brachas, that he was the one who was Mesake in Shemon Esrei. He's Mesakin V'Malshinim. One brachas. He was Mesakin the 19th brach in Shemon Esrei. So Vaistoy says Nishkeven Kin Shmuel HaKatan. He was called Shmuel HaKatan Mistama Al Tzanivus, but he wasn't really a Shmuel HaKatan. So it's the humility of someone who's called Shmuel HaKatan who's teaching us that we have to be humble. When you see a Rasha falling, don't just say, Geval the Gishmak, the Rasha's falling. A little bit of humility. I might not be that much different than he is, and therefore one has to be very careful when being the simcha over someone else's downfall. One must make sure, as Rabbi Yisrael Salanter says, that even his l'shem shemayim also has to be l'shem shemayim. Kol tov.